Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Yes, sir. Lost.
Of course.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Very well. At once. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting
Unit
orders. Affirmative. 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 Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Very well. Very well. No problem. Very well. Yes, sir. Very well. Very well.
Unit lost.
No problem. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Mission saved.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Comrade.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Comrade, affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Comrade. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Sir. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Silos needed.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Mission saved.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, that's what I was missing.
Salute, Commander! Congratulations on your success in Austria. You must forgive me if my interest in your success is a bit personal. You have cleared my name. You are my friend, and I will drink to your honor. It seems I already have. До свидания, товарищ. Добрый день, Sergeant. Меня зовут Topolov. General Topolov. Rad видать, comrade. Your mission in the Ukraine is simple. Allied forces seek to challenge Soviet air supremacy. Right in our faces, they build MiG prototypes of their own. They test their new air fuel bomb. They test their chronosphere. The Govnyuks grow bold. There's got to be a settling of the score. Destroy the prototypes, but take the chronosphere. Purge the Ukraine of the Allied presence and the bastard behind the threat. Assassinate General Stavros, the Greek commander. До свидания. That is all.
Now we need to get rid of General Stavros, the Allied commander.
Commander?